Hello, everybody. Hello, welcome to the stream. This is the advice stream for all of the people out there listening. I'm your host, Jeremy International. We're live on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. The advice stream is the stream where we hang out. We keep it kind of low key. Sometimes we have guests. Sometimes we play games. Sometimes we do both. This is a games only episode of the advice stream as we continue to play 1992's Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis. I'm getting a little bored with it, to be honest, so maybe this is the last day we play this, and then next week we'll have something different to do. Maybe no games. Who knows? Who's to say? I guess it's me, what we do next. But we'll figure it out. But we are going to play the Fate of Atlantis for a little bit tonight. I didn't do a lot of promotion for today's show. I don't know if a lot of people are going to come by. I see I got one person checking it out over on Twitch. So, we'll see what happens. This is, if you're doing something and it's not fun, don't do it. So we'll see how tonight goes. I am certainly sleepy. Sleepy today, so sleepy. But I'm feeling good. I hope you're doing well as well. What's new? Let's see. Saw Barbie last night, saw the Barbie movie, liked it a lot. Super fun and weird and cool and lots of other good things. If you're watching and at home and you've seen the Barbie movie, I'd love to hear your take on it. So tell me what your take is about the Barbie movie, all of the people at home watching right now. What else is going on? Today's episode of the Advice Stream is unofficially brought to you by Haribo Gold Bears. They're so good. These are the best gummy bears on the market these days. If you're in the market for some gummy bears, try out Haribo. Did you know that the green Haribo Gold Bears are strawberry flavored? I bet you didn't. But green is strawberry. Red is another flavor that's not strawberry. I don't know why they did that, but it's on the box. So you'd think red would be strawberry. Oh boy. Okay. Long time ago, although let me tell you, gummy bears aren't a good thing to eat while you're talking, so I'm going to put these away. Only recommend Haribo Gold Bears when you don't have to talk to people, because it makes it hard to do that. Long time ago, when I was a student actor, we always would have like a rule that we'd pretend to follow, we never really did, that if you're doing a show and there's more people on stage than there is in the audience, then you don't have to do the show. Of course, you always have to do the show. The show goes on. That showbiz, baby. But I feel kind of like that today. It's just me, and there's only one person watching, so I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know if this is going to taste good or nothing. But if you'd like to seek advice, we don't have a lot of questions that came in. Man, I feel like I'm on the Titanic right now. We didn't have a lot of questions that came in. I have a few, and I have an interesting discussion topic that I came across in the Am I the Asshole subreddit that I would like to share and discuss too, but I feel like I need more people. Hey, it's Jugsy. Hi, Jugsy. I think you're it. I think it's just Jeremy International and Jugsy on the stream right now. I'm so glad that you're here, because talking to the void is not my favorite thing to do. But it's good that you're here. I'm assuming it's always kind of a slow burn on the advice stream. I'm assuming we'll have some people people are coming. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the advice stream. I'm Jeremy International. I've been talking like a crazy person into nothingness for the last couple minutes. Why don't we start over again? Let's get off on the right foot this time, okay? Let's rewind and start over. This is the advice stream. I know I spelled it wrong Fred Undead. I know I did. I saw that. I'm aware. I had a lot on my plate today when I created this event at the last possible minute before going live. And so them's the breaks, Fred Undead. You're going to have to look at a misspelled word. I can't fix it. It's not possible to fix after I put it up there. So we're just going to have to deal. I'm not a strong speller, but you know what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm trying to communicate. Hey, Hickman834, the Denver Bean is here as well. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Oh, we lost somebody else. Thanks for coming, everybody. And we're gonna start over. We're gonna start over from scratch. Hi, welcome, hello. This is the Advice Stream. I'm your host, Jeremy International. We're live on Twitch. We're live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. The Advice Stream is when we do stuff. We hang out, and if you have advice, you ask me, and I answer it for you. If you'd like to seek advice from me, your old friend Jeremy International, feel free to go over to JeremyInternational.com. There's a contact form you can fill out there. I read those questions 100% anonymously. So if you're seeking advice, I'm here to help you. This is what I do is I help people. I help people that need help, and sometimes people that don't need help. That's the problem I have. I'm working on it. But we do have a couple, not a lot. We have a couple questions that have come in that we're gonna get to, and I have an interesting "Am I the asshole?" from Reddit, just kind of interesting debate to have that I think will be good for us. So I'm gonna do that too. I started off the stream when no one was here talking about how I saw the Barbie movie last night. If you saw Barbie and you liked it, I liked it a lot. Feel free to shoot that in the chat there. I rate everything on a like to not like. You like it or you don't like it. That's all. You don't need to intellectualize it more than that. How did it make you feel? How did it make you think? Did it make you think about good things? Did it make you think about bad things? Did you need to think about bad things? Was thinking about the bad things a growth opportunity moment for you? Sometimes we got to think about bad stuff in order to grow as an individual and as a society. Fred Undead loved it. I know Fred Undead did because I was there. We saw it together. So yeah, Barbie is a movie that's out. Crazy, weird, very strange movie, but a very good time. And so we are playing Indiana Jones still in the Fate of Atlantis. I don't think we're going to finish this tonight, but I'm also kind of getting sick of playing this. So I think wherever we get to tonight's probably where we're going to end it on the stream. If you'd like to actually find out the Fate of Atlantis, I'm sure there are people out there that have completed the game and have and filmed it and recorded it for you to observe. So you could find out what happens, and then maybe you can tell me what happens afterwards, because I don't think I'm gonna finish it. I have a couple of ideas. I know we got really stuck last time and we were gonna leave, and I think we should leave. I want to go back to one of the places we've been to before, and because I think there's got to be something somewhere that we missed, something. So here we go. Let me bring our volume back a little bit. Oh my gosh, wait. I got the, oh no. I got the, I didn't mute it. There we go. Now I muted it. Oh, that's so annoying. I always do that. Okay. One of these days I'm going to learn computers. So we're going to go into the car and we're going to leave. Oh wait, I got to go get what's her name, don't I? Can I just use taxi? I think we got to go back up and get the lady. Okay. Oh boy. No, we're leaving. Pack up your bags. Okay, yeah, I know we forgot something. Bye. See, this is why I don't need to open the door manual. That's not necessary. Really? Okay. I don't need to manually open the door. That's not necessary. None of that's necessary. It's just not. Let's see what else is happening. We're gonna go to Algiers. 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 And we're gonna go back to the market. So all full disclosure here is I looked up a couple things. Because I was getting sick of being stuck. I was getting bored. I can't imagine that you were bored. So I looked up some stuff. And I don't know everything we need to do. But I know a couple of things. And one of them is this thing is a mask. See, you gotta, when you play this game, you gotta kind of move your cursor over everything and look at everything. And I didn't do that. But I'm gonna just grab this. Yoink. And I'm gonna leave. He doesn't seem to care. Oh, maybe he does. Yes. Cool. Bye. And then so I know we need to do that. And I also feel like, and I don't know this part, but I feel like we gotta, because there's this whole bit where he's trying to get her to let this guy throw knives at her and she doesn't want to. And I feel like we need to find a way to make that happen. This whole thing, why would it be here if it wasn't important? Excuse me. It is, totally. What if I... Yoink. Sucker. Man, I'll feel really bad if he accidentally throws a knife into her face or something. But... Gulp. Well, I got a knife. Jeez. All right. So now because someone had said last time that we needed a mask to trick the French guy, and now we have a mask. So now I have a plan. We're gonna go back to Monte Carlo, and she's gonna go up to her room. We've done this 100 times. And I just got to wait for this Bojo to stop by, and then we'll get him to go up, and then we can use the blanket and the flashlight and the mask to scare him or something. I don't know. And then once we do that, there he is. Is that him? No, it's not. It's a stranger. Once we do that, we'll take a little break, and we'll have some questions to read. Come on, you dingus. Where'd you go? Is that him? Hello. Can we just get over this thing already? What do you say we get in touch with the spirits? Ew. What? That was a totally reasonable thing to ask a stranger on the street. He's going to come back. Here he is. And then we're going to ask him again. What does that mean? Was that enough time? Are you still angry? Charmine. Okay. Thank you. Oh, wait, did I screw this up? Should I have grabbed the blanket first? Uh, um, anyways, okay, we gotta, whoops. Okay, first off, can we grab this? And can we grab this? Okay, let's try again. And we're gonna get it this time. We're gonna get it. We're so close, I think. Oh, I gotta manually open the stupid door. LucasArts, do you think I really feel like I gotta push a separate button to open the door? Is that really necessary? Even in like 1992. There he is. Ugh. Also, probably be better. I'm using a trackpad. Probably smarter if I used a mouse, you know? This guy is very predictable. Super predictable. Let's go. Skip ahead. Come on. Yada yada. Here we go. Yeah. Okay. Not that kind of psychic, dude. Wait, he told us all of this stuff before. I don't remember. This one? He said he needed. I remember he said this. Yeah, he said that. Uh huh. Psychic. It's always three. Oh my god. Okay. Can we save this? Can we rescue this situation? Okay. Good. Okay, so now I'm going to open the fuse box and use the fuse box. I'm going to use blanket, use mask, use flashlight. Here we go. That's spooky. Ooh. How did I know he was going to do that? You might as well just hit him on the head and stolen the thing. Yeah, and we're going to go back to Algeria. I like the sound of that. Okay, we made progress. We got through that part. It was dumb and boring, and I didn't like it. But it's over now. Okay, sure. Whatever. Indiana Jones never stole a sheet from a hotel room in Monte Carlo before. I find that hard to believe. Okay, use taxi. Okay. We're back in Algeria. I'm going to turn the sound down. Let's do a question. Let's do a question. Okay. Let's see. Which ones are worth... Okay. Here's a dumb one. It's not a dumb one. It's just like this isn't a problem. At the last two gatherings we hosted in our home, multiple guests wore dark wash blue jeans. We're all middle-aged and leave the trendy, baggy, light wash denim for the kids. On two separate occasions, our guest unintentionally stained our large, expensive, light-colored couch. They also stained the walls by rubbing their knees against the breakfast bar while seated on our bar stools. Of course, we did not mention any of this to our guests, repainted the walls ourselves, and paid $200 to have the couch professionally cleaned. The wall was easy enough to repaint. However, the upholstery cleaner did not book the job initially because it was so unlikely he'd be able to get the stains out of the fabric. We are extremely lucky when he saved our couch, though it's still a touch darker in some spots. Now we'd like to host again. What is the best way to avoid this problem in the future without draping the furniture in sheets? Could we request all guests refrain from wearing dark wash denim along with the invitation, or would that be strange and or rude? Wow, okay. I'm sorry that I said that was dumb. That was rude of me. Would it be strange or rude? Rude for your closest friends is a different thing than rude for other people. And I'm not sure it would be rude for your really close friends, but it's definitely strange. I would say if you've chosen to have light colored furniture in your house, and if the paint on your walls is so light and delicate that someone rubbing their denim covered knees against the wall also ruins your paint job, then I don't know if you've got the house to have people over for events. Maybe you let somebody else who has a house that's a little bit more rigorous, that has a little bit more like sustainability to it. Maybe you have the events at someone else's place. I'm a big fan of not having light colored furniture for this very reason. People are messy, and sometimes people have pets, and sometimes people have kids, and the way that you choose to decorate and fill your house with things, I think opens you up and conversely limits you to what you can do in your house. And choosing to have light colored furniture is a thing, I think a choice people make that would necessitate them not having big events, not being the host. I think you might either want to think about getting a new sofa, and really think about how your living space is situated to make it a little bit more resilient. That's the word I was looking for, to the ups and downs of people and their clothes and their bodies. And until you do that, maybe, you know, have it at somebody else's house. I think this is I don't understand people that have like colored furniture that people sit on. I really don't. I don't get it. Uh, if you're, you know, like, I'll give you an example. We have, at least for me, what I would consider to be a pretty expensive sofa in our living room. It's dark colored, and it's covered in stains and mess because we have a toddler and we have a cat and we have lots of people over and people spill uh, stuff all the time. But we like to have company over, and we, for a while, we were really careful about like cleaning it really thoroughly. We have one of those like steam upholstery cleaners to make it really nice. Uh, and then we gave up on that because it was a never ending struggle to keep it from looking gross. So now it just kind of looks gross. Someday maybe we'll thoroughly clean it and it'll go back to looking like how we wanted it to look when we bought it. But we like having people over, and we're certainly not going to stress out about having a 3-year-old spilling stuff because that's what 3-year-olds do. So that's how it is. We've had dogs on it. We've had cats on it. We've had our kid and other people's kids. Everybody on that sofa eating and drinking and spilling and all the things that people do. And them's the breaks, man. Them's the breaks. I hope that was helpful. I hope I didn't come across as not having a lot of patience for you. But, you know, don't get light furniture. I wish I could be more empathetic. And I'm sorry today in my day, my empathy well is a little dry, I guess, maybe. But that's okay. That is okay. I'm not having a bourbon today. You know, I normally have a little bourbon when I'm doing the show. Taking a little break from drinking. Sometimes it's a good idea to take a break from having alcohol just to remind yourself that it's not difficult for you to do it. I like to do that just to check in. Am I having a problem? It's really hard for me to go a few days without any alcohol. If it feels like it's a struggle, if I feel like I'm really missing it, you know, that might be something worth evaluating. So far, I've never had that problem. And just take a couple days, check in with yourself, you know? That's what I say. All right, let's go back. And I think we were trying to get that disc thing because we wanted to show it to the guy that we took the mask from. So let's go back over there. Let's go back over there. And let's see what he has to tell us. Huh. Whose dig is it? Whose dig is it? Oops. The Germans. Wait. Oh, Fred Undead says, okay, I should read the text. All right, you're right. I'm sorry. Thank you. Look, let's just be honest. This ain't going to be the best episode of the advice stream ever. All right, I'm in a mood today. I'm doing my best, and I'm going to stop eating, and I'll read my reply. Thank you for the feedback, OMG, Fred Undead. I really appreciate it. We'll never give up. Ooh, thank you. Doop doo doo doop boop boo doo doop boop. Here we go. A few minutes later, what's happening? What's happening? Where do we go? Where are our camels? A few hours later, what just happened? Did we go to the desert and give up and came back? We're back. Okay, except our camels died a mile out of town. Marvelous, but we didn't find anything. I'd rather not talk about it. Well, I don't know what to say. Jugsy says I'm always losing my camels. I want my money, my camel money back. Ja, we've got it right here. Why do you ask? But it's your I don't understand. Ooh, Lou Gehrig. I'll take it. That's not quite what I want. What else have you got? I'll just keep what I've got. I don't know what to do. I feel like a baseball autograph by Lou Gehrig would be cool. And it's not every day you have a baseball signed by a guy with his own disease. But how's that relevant? What else do you have? Let's keep going. Jugsy says it's a bit OT. Sorry. Do you play many other games? I do, Jugsy. But I think after tonight's episode, I'm not going to do games at all. I'm going to go back to having guests. Guests are more fun. It's a little, it's a lot more work on my end to schedule things and to find people. But I know lots of cool, interesting people. And I think I'm going to go back to doing that for a little while and not do games. Games is just getting to be a little boring for me. And when I have guests, and like we do little interviews and we catch up, and it's super fun. And so I'm going to start doing that again starting Monday. I think this will be my last playing games episode. I was really enjoying this game for a few days, and then I'm not really enjoying this anymore. Maybe on my own time, I'll just get like a step-by-step guide, and whenever I feel like it's not even that I'm stuck, I've suddenly lost interest in this. Like, what's the point? What am I doing? I'm trading the mass for something. Why? What is it? Something important? Is it not? What am I waiting to do? What just happened when we were in the desert and we came back without the camels? I don't know. And I'm bored. I'm bored with it. I've only heard good things about this game, and so much of the time we've spent together playing this game over the last several weeks has been a blast. I'm not really feeling it today, I guess. And outside the stream, I've been playing Pikmin 4 for the Switch, which I love. Love the Pikmin games. If you haven't played any of the Pikmin games before, you should. Although I would really recommend starting with actually playing them in order. Not that there's like a big story or anything, there's really not. But the games build on kind of skills and strategies that you learn from the previous games, and you're going to enjoy the Pikmin games really work, and they just add new elements and new features and new components as you go on. And so learning how to play like the base game that is the original Pikmin game and getting really good at that, and then going to play the second one where more stuff is added in, and the third one where even more stuff is added, is much more satisfying when you get to the fourth one, which is actually kind of a big, complicated game, and is much more of kind of like, has a lot of more RPG elements to it. But the fact that you've already built kind of the skills that you need to multitask, there's a lot of multitasking in that game. But man, those games are fun. They're all 4 Pikmin games are available on the Switch these days. So the first one was for the first 2 were for the GameCube. I think the third one was Wii U, and then was re-released for the Switch, and the fourth one just came out for the Switch. But they're all available. 1, 2, 3, and 4 are all on the Switch. So highly recommend those. Jugsy says, I did notice they're selling 1+2 together on Switch. I wonder if that's why. Yeah, I don't know why they made that decision, but it's those. I think you could play those games in any order, or just play the fourth one and have a good time. But being able to kind of take your time and build and learn the multitasking skills you need to be really good at those games is super fun. And per dollar buying, I think you can buy 1 and 2 together. I don't know how much it is. I haven't gotten it yet. Is a worthwhile thing to do. But I'm having a blast. Love those games. They're so unique and cute and special. I don't really feel like playing this game again right now, guys. What else can we talk about? Oh, here's the thing that happened today that I think is worth talking about is Paul Rubens died. And that's a bummer. I really liked him. I thought he was really, really talented, really visionary comedic actor. Even outside of Pee Wee Herman, all of the stuff he did was just so interesting and like committed and nuanced. Just like really good character actor that was always doing weird, interesting stuff. And he had cancer and he died. He didn't really tell anyone. He didn't make it public until he was gone. And I'm sad about that. You know, I think I mentioned it on this show before. I'm a cancer survivor. I had a relatively easy to treat type of cancer. Cancer's cancer. And so I don't know. It's particularly upsetting with me. I didn't know Paul Rubens. I've hung out with people that knew him, but I never actually met him. I don't know anything much about him as a person, except, you know, a couple of the controversies he got wrapped up in his life. But it's upsetting. You know, it's weird how we have these emotional reactions when someone that we've never met dies. And I've had a bigger emotional reaction to that news today than I would have guessed. And it's partly because I'm a big fan of his. He's a really talented, interesting performer. The arc of my performance career isn't dissimilar. Like, I also at least try to do weird, interesting, really specific character stuff to various levels of success. And cancer's scary. You know, it's still scary to me, and it's probably scary to a lot of people out there. And so it was just a rough story to hear today. If you haven't seen either ever or in a long time Pee-wee's Big Adventure, you really should. You know, Tim Burton directed that movie. A lot of people forget that. Early in Tim Burton's career, so it's when he's in his super weird, kind of like Beetlejuicy phase. And that movie's so strange, and Paul Rubens is brilliant in it. And Pee Wee Herman, you know, can say dumb stuff about Pee Wee Herman all day long because it was kind of dumb, but it was also just so specific, and so he was so committed to it, and just a unique, weird character at a unique, weird time in American pop culture. And I have a tremendous amount of respect for that, and had a tremendous amount of respect for Paul Rubens. I hope that the people that knew him and loved him are doing okay out there, because it's sad, especially when it just kind of comes out of nowhere. Is a bummer. Anyways, go check out some Paul Rubens project. He was in the original Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie. He was in Mystery Men with not Ben Affleck, Ben Stiller and Janine Garofalo, William H. Macy. Hank Azaria's in that movie. You ever see Mystery Men? That movie is also so weird and super unlikely that a movie like that would be made today because it's so bizarre. And Paul Rubens is in it, and he's hysterical. Paul Rubens was speaking in Tim Burton in the flashback. He was the Penguin's dad, and Danny DeVito played the Penguin in Batman Returns. It's a little weird, tiny role for him. There was a sequel to Pee-wee's Big Adventure called Big Top Pee-wee. Tim Burton did not direct that one, but Chris Christopherson's in it. It's about the circus. Also super weird movie. But yeah, Pee-wee's Big Adventure, man. It's a great movie. If you haven't seen it, or if you haven't seen it in a long time, you should check it out. I'm assuming it's streaming on something somewhere. What's this? Jugsy says, all Switch friends should bookmark DEKUdeals.com. Oh, is that a good way? Is that like discounts or deals on video games? Because I'm always looking for that. I'm looking it up right now on my phone. Let's see. DEKU deals. Ooh. Oh yeah, there's a bunch of games in here that are cool. I never played Inside, but I've watched a playthrough of it, and that game's super intense and weird. I liked Moonlighter. I played that. Oh, Untitled Goose Game is one of the greatest video games of all time. Loved Untitled Goose Game so much. Such a good one. Nice. Well, thanks for the link, Jugsy. I'm gonna keep this one on standby for sure. I personally, and I know this is crazy, and everyone's gonna ask me why do I do this to myself. I am physical purchases only for a bunch of reasons, which I'm happy to talk about. But I try to keep it to physical purchases, mainly because, and we've been seeing this a lot with streaming services, is when you're playing something off a server, like if you buy something that's just digital, and the manufacturer, the developer, or the host of that is decides they don't want it anymore, then they take it off and you never get to play it again. And that's a bummer. So, if you want to buy a game reasonably close to when it comes out, there's not a difference in price. Now, if you're doing digital only, sometimes you wait and you get like insane deals, like the ones you get on this DEKUdeals.com. They have physical copies on here too. Where do I look for physical copies? Games. And games. I'll keep looking, but thanks. I'm always looking for deals on games, especially physical copies. I try when I want to buy a new game. Wow, thanks, Jugsy. This is super helpful. When I want to buy a new game, like a new release game, I try to buy that game from, oh, I see. Cool. I try to buy that game from smaller independent video game store. I live in kind of the central part of the East Coast, and there's this really amazing giant used video game store. It was quite a drive from us, but not undoable to get there and back in an afternoon, called Starland. And so they're, independent shop. They're not like a big box store. And so they do stuff online. So I usually try to buy physical releases of new games. Like I recently purchased Diablo 4 for the PS5 because I want to play that real bad. And it's taken them a little while to ship it to me, which is understandable. It's the world we live in. I don't have to have it right away. And that's giving me more time to play Pikmin 4, which I'm excited about. I also got from them, when I purchased Diablo, I also added in, because it was just a couple bucks, the original Jeopardy for the Sega Genesis. We've done Jeopardy on the NES on the stream before, but maybe we'll do another couple of days of Jeopardy. This time we'll do Sega Genesis Jeopardy. And those graphics on the Sega Genesis are better than the original Nintendo. Stay tuned for some future date. Like I was saying, I'm going to do a few episodes where we're just going to have guests. 2 guests. We'll talk with one person for an hour and a second person for an hour. And we'll do that for a few weeks. And then we'll come back to some other game for sure. Jugsy says, so jealous we only have EB Games, GameStop, and department stores. Yeah, I gotta go a ways to get to East Starland, but they're it's for someone like me, and like I play new games from time to time, but I'm mostly like this I'm into playing old games. That's like going to Disneyland for me, because they got so much stuff. A lot of the stuff there, I can't afford, or at least wouldn't feel comfortable spending that much money on an old video game. But it's fun to look. They've got so much cool stuff there. If you ever find yourself in the vicinity of Chantilly, Virginia, there's not a lot of stuff out there. Then you should check out East Starland, because it's a hike for us. But like I could make a day out of going there, spending a couple hours looking around, and then driving back. And maybe I'll do that again soon, and then I could, I don't know, share pictures or something. That'd be fun. Let's do another question. Oh yeah, this is going to be, I'm going to do, so this isn't a question as much as it is, this is a question that wasn't sent to me, Jeremy International, on the advice stream. But this is a question that was posted on the Am I the Asshole subreddit. And I think this is interesting. It brings up a lot of interesting conversations. And when I read this the first time, I felt one very specific way about it for a little while, and then kind of changed and thought about a totally different direction before. Before I begin reading this, I'll do a content warning. The advice stream with Jeremy International acknowledges the existence of sex. If you have a hard time being witness to conversations that involve the acknowledgement of the existence of sex, this might be a good time to step away. And I don't know, maybe call your therapist in the meantime, because it's weird for an adult person to be made uncomfortable by that. Okay, here we go. Once again, this is not a viewer question. This is from Am I the Asshole subreddit. Recently I'm assuming that's supposed to be out. Recently was at my husband's friend's birthday party. It was a bigger party, and all my husband's friends and their wives were there. No kids. One woman that I'm friendly with was annoyed with her husband and joked, "Men, if they didn't get us off, why would we keep them?" And she laughed. I awkwardly laughed, but I guess looked uncomfortable. She asked me what was up, and she pointed out that I made a weird face. I said, I've just never had an orgasm before, so I guess I couldn't relate. Almost a dozen people looked at me when I said that. It was super awkward. The wife then awkwardly asked, is everything okay down there? And I said, yeah, just have never had anyone try, I guess. For the first 10 minutes, all my husband's friends took turns insulting him in various ways. Many women talked about how they'd never be married to someone who didn't get the job done. My husband made us leave early. When we got home, he lectured me about how I humiliated him. I pointed out that she asked, and I have a tendency to be honest. He's been really upset the last several days, and he keeps saying he can't talk to his friends because they now think badly of him. Am I the asshole for being honest here? So let's talk about that much of the question first. And then there's a little update. They do that sometimes on this subreddit. There's a little update that adds in some additional and I think relevant information. So, I mean, that's incredibly a couple things. First off, being honest doesn't mean that you're not being an asshole. It's not necessary to share everything you think and feel in public spaces all the time. There's a difference between being honest and lying. And of course, I'm not advocating for lying, but it's not necessary to always share. And I would understand from the husband's perspective that that's pretty humiliating revelation that she made in front of all of his friends. The bigger question here, I guess, before we get to the additional part at the bottom, is, I think that people have a certain level of responsibility for their own orgasms. That certainly your partner should be part of that process if you're having sex with somebody. But you need to take ownership of at least communicating to them what you want and what you need. And if you're not able to vocalize those things, then you need to do some self-exploration to be able to find how to vocalize that. Your partner also needs to make sure they're creating a safe space where you feel like you can share and communicate in that way. Absolutely. But I think that it's unrealistic to put the responsibility for an orgasm 100% on yourself or 100% on your partner. That's what sex is. It's something two people do together. And it takes two to tango, as it were. It's interesting that she says she's never had an orgasm before, not that she's never had it with a partner. I think that's a big distinction to make too. Does she want to? Maybe she doesn't. But if she wants to, what is she doing to explore that on her own? Maybe she's not able to communicate in detail what she wants or what she needs because she doesn't know what she wants for herself. And that is her responsibility to communicate that to her partner, not his responsibility to somehow infer what she wants or to just kind of automatically know. Everybody's body is different. Everybody's into different things. And you have to learn how to help a specific person have an orgasm. That's a skill that doesn't necessarily translate directly from partner to partner. But the skill of being able to communicate, this is what I want you to do, this is what feels good for me, is something that is transferable, and it needs to be. So I'm kind of tempted from this to take the husband's side with this piece of information, because she overshared in a way that's very unflattering and unnecessary to him. And he has an absolute right to be embarrassed and kind of humiliated in this way. Keeping in mind what I was saying is that it's not 100% your partner's responsibility to give you an orgasm. You're a participant in that too. Now then, when you scroll to the bottom, there's an edit, and she says, "I've brought the issue up countless times in the past. He tells me that it's not important, not a big deal, that he doesn't get me off. Since it's not that important, I just don't see why I have to hide it like some kind of dirty secret." So that changes everything. If she's brought it up to him, if she is doing that communication, this is what I want you to do, and he's like, I don't care, I'm not going to do it, that's your problem, then screw that guy, or don't screw him. And maybe he deserves to be humiliated in that way. That's the part that really turned it around for me, is that if she's communicating what she wants, and it's not even that he doesn't understand, it's not even that he can't do it, or that he's not even receptive to like the feedback, or like he's not receptive to the input. He's just saying that he doesn't care, and that it's not important. And that's divorce grounds, if you ask me. That's not just about someone not caring about your sexual needs. That's someone not caring about you and your feelings as a person. independent of sex altogether. That's not the type of person that anyone should ever be in a relationship with, if you ask me. Now, does that make it, does that mean that he deserves to be humiliated in his friends? Maybe. I don't, that's a harder question to answer. But he definitely doesn't deserve to be married to anybody. So I'd say you're... Is it possible that both people are the asshole? I think that's what it is. She overshared, it seems like in a way deliberately humiliate and hurt him. And I'm not saying that wasn't like the move. I'm not saying that wasn't like the badass play to do. But sometimes the badass play means that you're also kind of an asshole. I think he's definitely the bigger asshole for sure, because he's so clearly said that he doesn't care. Anyways, I would love to hear your thoughts out there for people. If anybody has thoughts about that. But, I think the broader life lesson from this discussion is you need to be able to communicate. You need to be able to communicate what you want from your partner in the context of sex. And you also need to be able to hear what your partner is communicating to you. These, to me, are the most essential skills when it comes to being a sexually active person. Is the communication, is saying, this is what I want you to do, this is what I'm into. And then the hard part is being able to hear that as the person being spoken to, to be able to hear someone saying, actually, I didn't like that way that felt. I'd rather if you did it this way. And to hear that and not get defensive or hurt or even like disengage from the moment. Like ideally, you're able to have those conversations in the moment, like mid doing it. You should be able to have those types of communications, and being able to vocalize what you want and what your preference is a hard thing to do. It takes time and it takes experience, oftentimes by yourself, to be able to learn those things. But then being able to hear them in a way where you're not getting defensive and where you're not being taken out of the moment of intimacy or passion or whatever it is also really hard to do. Fred Undead says, yeah, everyone sucks there, but also see a sex therapist. Yeah, I mean, I would even say broader than a sex therapist is they need to go to couples counseling. And if this dude can't turn it around and understand why I mean, it's not even about her like sexual desire. It's about her feelings as a human being that he seems disinterested in. You got to give him a short time window to fix that, or you got to tell him to hit the road jack, in my opinion. Jugsy says, sounds like she either intentionally or not had some harboring frustration, hence the oversharing. Absolutely, Jugsy. She chose to make it a visible fight instead of pushing it further at home. So that's subjective whether she's the ass or not. Yeah, I mean, I think that if it kind of feels like it's a little bit of passive aggressive nonsense here, that this was her way of being like, I was just being honest, but then being really hurtful to him in a public space. And that's maybe easier and more gratifying for her frustration than continuing to try to have a conversation like two grown-ups, which he also doesn't seem to be interested in doing. So, I mean, I get it, man. I get it. Fred Undead says, and Twitter Automod blocked it because she says the word orgasm. That's silly. Fred Undead says, I allowed the comment in there. Honestly, if they worked together on giving her an orgasm, then there wouldn't be an issue. Yeah, I 100% agree with that as well. It's just not... It wasn't necessary. I think a lot of people do pretty deliberately hurtful, shitty things under the auspices of, well, I was just being honest. I'm an honest person. So what do you want me to do? I can only be honest. And by that, I mean having to share hurtful and private details about a person in public. Like that's, like the other thing too, is like she's saying that her friend made a joke about why would you keep men around if they didn't get you off, and then she made a face. And like that's the thing, faces, like, people, most grown-ups can control their facial reactions if they want to. And people make like faces of like shock or horror or a strong reaction to something because they want people to know that they're having that reaction, so that people will ask them, are you okay? How do you feel? Is everything all right? Did I do something wrong? And that's the way that people kind of create those conversations. Fred Undead, the automod is not liking you. They blocked you again because you used the word vibrator. Fred Undead says, go buy a vibrator, my friends. Yeah, what I always say is if your partner buys you a vibrator, then every orgasm you have with it is they did it. They get credit for it, always. So maybe if he buys you a vibrator, you can be slightly less frustrated and maybe try to have that conversation with him again, although I'm not sure he deserves it, because I think he's a real garbage person as well. So I don't know. Yeah, Fred and Dad, come on, that's the rule. The person that buys you a sex toy gets the credit for every orgasm you have with the sex toy. Everybody knows that. Like in the cosmic scale of the number of times you've given people orgasms in your life, every time someone uses a toy that you bought them, you get the point. And then, whoever has the highest score when they die wins. That's the facts of life. That's the birds and the bees. It's just how it is. That's a fact. Okay. Or I'm not going to press that point anymore, but that's part of, I'm just being honest. That's my worldview. And I am an honest person. So I have to tell everybody everything that I feel every second of the day, all the time. Hold on, Jugsy. Everybody's getting stopped by the auto mod. Jugsy says, if my coworker buys me a joke fleshlight and I use it, are we gay? I don't know what gay is and what gay isn't anymore, Jugsy. It's 2023. I don't think, I don't know. Who's to say anymore what it means to be anything, I guess. I would say, to answer your question, if a coworker, I don't know what a joke fleshlight is. I'm gonna, should I allow that one? I guess I'm gonna allow that one, Jugsy. Yeah, I think, here's my advice on that, Jugsy. That's a good question. If a coworker bought you a joke sex toy, I think that's just a sex toy, and you use it to give yourself an orgasm, then the professionalism in the workplace is long gone. So you might as well just tell them that they did that. I think that counts. Yes, I would say you should do that, because coworkers shouldn't buy each other sex toys anyways. When I was in college, like the student health department did like a sex education like game show. And I love game shows. And I won. And the prize was a vibrator, like a very like phallic vibrator that at the time I didn't have any need for. So I gave it as a joke to a friend of mine. And that's the end of that story, I guess. I wonder whatever happened to it. That's the only time I've ever given someone that I wasn't intimate with a sex toy, I guess. Anyways, I don't know where I was going with that. Whew. I don't want to play this anymore. What else can we do? This is what we're going to do. I'm going to take a break for just a couple minutes. And then when I come back, let's talk about music. because I like to talk about music. Yeah, we're going to take 10 minutes, and then I'm going to come back with a bunch of records, and let's talk about records. While I'm gone, you got 10 minutes. Here's an assignment for you out there, everybody. Irk, IDK. I don't know what that is, Jugsy. Man, Jugsy's saving the show today. I appreciate it, Jugsy. Jugsy and Fred Undead to the rescue, because I'm done with Indiana Jones. So, yeah, I'm going to... Why don't you, audience at home, take the 10 minutes and think about really important kind of life-changing musical moments in your life. And then when I come back, we'll discuss. I'll be right back, guys. 10 minutes. Let's pretend that didn't happen. I hope you enjoyed your 10 minutes. I had a wonderful 10 minutes. I just grabbed a bunch of stuff I got hanging around the house that's making me happy these days, and I thought I would share some of that with you. And if you, the audience at home, have anything around that's making you happy, you should share it, please, because it'd make me happy to know that you're happy. First thing I wanted to grab. This is a book someone gave our kid. This isn't actually the book. This is the cover. The book is in a room, and I didn't feel like getting it out. But there's this book called Not Quite Narwhal. Can you see that? It's about a unicorn that lives in the ocean and thinks he's a narwhal by Jessie Sima. I had to see what her name was. This book is pretty great for kids because it kind of follows like the ugly duckling trope that the main character's name's Kelp, is a little unicorn, but he lives in the ocean with narwhals. And he understands that he's different, but he doesn't quite understand how he's different. But they accept him. They accept him immediately, even though he's different. It's like the opposite of the ugly duckling. The ugly duckling is about a being in a community where they're different and they're shunned because they're different. And it's not until they find like the people where they belong, where they're accepted, and then they're immediately better than the people that shun them. And I don't think that's a super great moral for kids about just acknowledging that it's okay to shun people that are different than you, and then also that some people are better than other people. I think that doesn't age well in our current times. But in this book, Not Quite Narwhal, Kelp eventually finds unicorns and discovers that they're a unicorn too. And when they go back to the ocean, and they're nervous because they think that their narwhal friends are going to reject them now that they're different. And so they give a big speech. Kelp brings all of the narwhals around and says, "Hey, I have something to say. I'm not a narwhal." And all the narwhals say, "Yeah, we know." And Kelp says, "Yeah, I'm a unicorn." And they're like, "Yeah, we always knew that. We don't care. We love you." And then there's this moment where Kelp's like, "Well, do I live with the narwhals or do I live with the unicorns? Like, I have to be one or the other." And the book ends where they realize that they don't. They can live both. They can be both things. No one is just one thing. Everybody's at least a few. And so the book ends with the narwhals and the unicorns playing together in the ocean and the beach. And it's really wonderful. I think it's pretty thinly veiled, like, coming out story quite a bit, but then also, like, people that love you should love you. And when you realize that you're different, or when they realize that you're different, that shouldn't change anything as long as you're a good person. What else matters? So that's one thing. If you have kids, or if you're thinking about having kids, or if you need to buy a present for a kid, I would highly recommend that book. Once again, that is Not Quite Narwhal by Jessie Sima. And you should get that. And I hope Jessie makes lots and lots of money from that book, because that person deserves it. What else do I have that's making me happy? Here's another thing. So maybe this is clear about myself, and maybe it's not. But I love Godzilla, and I love glow-in-the-dark anything. And there's this really great company called Super 7. I think I posted this on my Instagram if you follow me on Instagram. And they make kind of cheap, like low detail, low articulation, like retro style action figures. They've got millions of them, but they make lots of Godzilla ones. And then every year at San Diego Comic-Con, they have glow-in-the-dark exclusives. And I'm not going to go to San Diego Comic-Con. I don't have any desire really to go to San Diego Comic-Con, but I really want some glow-in-the-dark Godzilla toys. So luckily, they always put on their website what they don't sell at Comic-Con, so you can get the exclusives if you stay at home, if you act fast. And I did, and I got glow-in-the-dark King Ghidorah. Look how cool he is. Maybe I can turn off I probably can't turn off all my lights and see how much he glows in the dark. But isn't he? And look at his wings flap. Anyways, super cool. Really love that very much. The things you can buy these days if you have a couple of bucks is super fun. And, of course, things don't make you happy, but the process of like hunting on the internet and finding a really cool thing and getting it for yourself, that's fun. That makes me a little happy sometimes. Um, yeah, Fred and Dead loves Kelp too. Yeah, Kelp is great. That book has such a wonderful moral. Another book that I've read for myself that I also really enjoyed. If you like David Bowie, this is a book called Bowie in Berlin by Thomas Jerome Seabrook. If you like David Bowie, this is amazing, really weird time in David Bowie's life. Big transformation he's going through. And if you don't know, David Bowie's Berlin years, I think, has produced some of the greatest music ever. Certainly some of the best music from his career. And reading about the making of music and then also like listening to the music, taking breaks from reading the book. And then it's like, oh, I need to go. I know that record, but I'm going to go listen to it right now because I just learned something interesting about how they made it. It's such like a fun, like multimedia experience. If you like David Bowie, or if you just like stories about people going through strange journeys in their life and the friends they make along the way, like Iggy Pop, for example. Great book to read. Fred Undead says Jeremy makes me happy. Fred Undead makes me happy as well. For sure. Yeah, I'm talking a lot. I think I'm probably gonna wrap up here soon. I don't need to go a whole 2 hours tonight. But we're done with the Fate of Atlantis. And next week we'll have some guests. I don't know who. I got to figure it out in a day or two. But we'll have some interesting, cool people. And we'll talk and we'll discuss and we'll learn things. And we'll share. And we'll have a good time. I hope that you enjoyed the weird kind of low energy vibe I got going on today. I will plan something more interesting and dynamic next time. I'll probably finish the Fate of Atlantis on my own someday, in the possibly distant future. I don't know, but today ain't the day for fortune and glory, And I think we're probably gonna wrap it up right here. But as always, thanks everyone for participating. This has been the Advice Stream. I'm your host, Jeremy International. We're more or less every Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And if you would like to seek advice from Jeremy International, please feel free to do so by heading over to JeremyInternational.com. There's a contact form you can use there. All of those questions remain 100% anonymous. Also on that website is the ability to tip or donate if you wanna. No pressure if you don't. I'm not doing this for the money. Jeremy International is all about the kids. So I hope you have a good night. Be well. Trust yourself. Be patient with yourself. And we'll see you next week.